Hi, I'm George Lang, and this is Static. This is something a little different that we're starting, a new weekly show offering a chance for you to start your weekend a little early and hear some of the best musicians in Oklahoma. And for my first show, I've invited Casey Clifford to the News OK studios, performing songs from her new live CD, Pockets Full of Hope. Here it is. Now, Casey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
You know, I think it was about 8 years ago that we met. It was at Mestafest, and for those of you who don't know about Mestafest, it's a big street festival that happens every fall in Mesta Park, and they have live music, they have a chili cook-off, they have a lot of local microbrews bringing in beer so that everybody gets happy, and so I remember hearing this voice coming from the stage over there in the park, and I was just knocked out. And it was right after you'd recorded your first album. It was Times Like These, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
Right. Now tell me about your career track since then and some of the things that you've been doing.
Well, I think there's hills and valleys. It's been an interesting journey. My first record was released right before I met you, and my second one in 2004. And I think whether I intended to or not, I chose a path that kind of lived life as I made music.
Sure.
I have kind of intense seasons of promoting my music, and then things will pull back and life will kind of happen. But I think in some ways that's good, because that's really what makes good songs, in my opinion.
And that gives you the opportunity to create during those pullback periods, right?
Sure. And it's like being a musician with a day job, and then going from now I don't have a day job and I'm pursuing it full time again, which I had done in the past. And I got married and did all that in the middle of everything. So it's just been an interesting journey, and now we're very much full on with it, and that's an exciting place to be in.
Right. Now, Pockets Full of Hope, you recorded that recently at the Blue Door, which is a fantastic place to play, because people pay more attention, I think, to the music when they're sitting in the Blue Door. They're not trying to pick up or anything like that. I mean, they're really into the music. It's almost like they're in church,
right,
when they're there.
Well, and I like to say that there's souls in the walls of the Blue Door, like
great.
Musicians' souls. When you go in there, it's a room like no other, and it is kind of like a church in that way. Like, it's a church of songwriters, and it's a destination venue. So you go there to hear music, as opposed to I'm excited to have graduated into that kind of a venue, because it's much more gratifying as an artist, for sure.
Now, and the acoustics are amazing in there.
They
are.
Yeah. They
are.
are.
Now, tell me what it was like to record this. Was it a pretty straightforward experience?
It was totally straightforward, and kind of in the way that I do, I really wanted it to be an authentic experience. We didn't edit a lot of the final product. We obviously chose the songs that we wanted to use, but as far as the night went, I just wanted it to be the real deal. I wanted you to feel like you're sitting in the front row of a Casey Clifford concert once the final product happens. So we did one take of pretty much everything. I gave myself the option to repeat something in the second set if I wanted to do it again, but for the most part, what you hear is really what it was that night, and the stories and everything. That was kind of the heart of it. I just wanted to kind of have the songs in the raw. I wanted it to be just bare bones, and for people to feel like they knew a little bit more about me, which is kind of what my art is about, kind of presenting this really authentic front.
Very cool. Well, let's hear a couple of songs from this album then.
Great.
All right, this is Casey Clifford.
Daddy is looking for his shirt. Big trains are coming and it's gonna hurt. I try to make the puzzle work, but we will never be what we were, who we were. Firecrackers flying through the sky. They fall like the morning after the 4th of July. I used my fake ID for the first time. Same night I found out that my hero died, and I was in a smoky phone booth where I cried and cried. I never got the chance to say goodbye. Firecrackers wake up, the house is on fire. Your dreams light up like a funeral pyre. Sit back and sing with the Star-Spangled Choir. Ashes, ashes, we're all so damn tired. Firecrackers flying through the sky. They fall like the morning after the 4th of July. She's got a full tank of gas out on the open road, and they're playing Johnny Cash on the radio. She's finding out, she's breaking out. She's trying to outlast her past, and it's just her and Johnny Cash out on the open road. And she didn't leave a note when she took off today, with her pockets full of hope and nothing left to say. But she's moving on, and she'll sing her song, and she'll chase the neon signs to better times. And it's just her and Johnny Cash out on the open road. Well, she passed through regret 16 miles ago, and she lit a cigarette and drove on down the road. She's driving on the open road with Johnny Cash. She don't know where she's going, but she will never look back. Yeah. She's driving all alone on the open road with Johnny Cash. She don't know where she's going, but she will never look back. Yeah. She will never look back. Hey, yeah, yeah.
That was amazing. Now, I understand that you're going to be going on an East Coast tour. Tell me about some of the places that you're going to be going.
Well, it's a very diverse collection of audiences, really. We're doing some house concerts, which is a lot of what we do now. There's a whole movement across the country of people who put concerts on in their home. And for a songwriter like me, it's a perfect audience because they want to hear the stories and they want to kind of get one-on-one with you. And it's very gratifying, again, as an artist, to be able to go play in someone's living room and just let the song speak for themselves. Right. So we're doing some house concerts. We're also doing some coffee houses, and we're playing a place called Pete's Candy Store in Brooklyn, which I'm real excited
I've heard of
about.
That place. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's supposed to be a cool place. My friend Gretchen turned me on to it. So, and then we're going to a big conference in the middle of things. So it's just an interesting hodgepodge of things. But we're doing 11 cities. We'll be gone for 3 weeks, and just David and I in the car with the guitars. So hopefully the marriage lasts through.
David Boyle's your husband.
Yes,
right.
My husband David Boyle.
Right. Now, okay, so tell me a little bit about that conference.
Okay, the conference is called the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance Conference, which they shortened to call NERFA. And it takes place in Hudson Valley, New York, just like north of New York City. And it's really one of the most intense things you'll ever do. It's 4 days. There's all sorts of artists and then, of course, venue presenters and radio and press and label people, management people. And the music starts at like 10:30 at night, and all night long people play until about 2 and 3 in the morning, and they showcase in hotel rooms. And so you have these music floors, and you have 15, 25 rooms of people playing at the same time, and you're competing for the attention of all these important people, and it's a little intense. I think I would much rather be playing the Blue Door or playing people who are
no
excited.
Pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all, right? You have 15 minutes, so you get maybe 3 or 4 songs, and and you've got to play your best songs, and it's totally unplugged, and but it's an interesting world. Really, what we get out of it is this really. You just come away real passionate about what you do and inspired because you've been in the presence of really great artists who are doing what they love, just like you. And to me, it's really it's a fire for my dream.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I wanted to hear one more song, okay? And I understand that you have a new song that means a lot to you. It's a very personal statement that you're making.
I do. I've lost 100 pounds this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a new woman. And I was talking to my therapist, actually. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm in therapy. I think it's a good thing for people.
It's healthy.
Yeah. And we were talking, and he was kind of asking me, I think I had lost about 85, 90 pounds at the time. And he said, how are you feeling? And I said, well, I think it feels like the walls have come down. I said, I wonder if this kind of feels like what it was like to be in Jericho. One day you had all your walls, all your insulation, and then the next day that was gone. And he said, well, Casey, that sounds like a song. And I said, well, that sounds kind of like a hard song to write. And he said, yeah, but I think you need to write it. Wow. And so it's become kind of a song for this time, and it represents more than my weight loss. Just kind of when you start to embrace what you're meant to be about, and kind of you feel naked and raw and scared, but it's exactly where you're supposed to be, and so that's kind of what the song is about.
That's wonderful. Why don't you just play us out with that?
Great.
And I'm looking forward to hearing this, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's
All
a
right.
pleasure.
Casey Clifford.
The ground is shaking these days. Crash around in the hole. Vacancies that only a heart can know. Fortress made of stones. No protection left except some skin and bone. We're infinitely more than just the sum of all the pain that's come. before. Oh, Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Maybe our walls come crashing down. Maybe it's so we can be found, joining our voices with the sound of redemption. Maybe there's so much more than this. Maybe we're living all there is. We've all got suffering, no one gets an exemption. Maybe we need no best defense. Maybe when we stop fighting